Morning, church. It's David Sides, and I'm reading Psalm 133. It says, "Behold, how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity. It is like the precious oil on the head, running down on the beard of Aaron, running down on the collars of his robes. It is like the dew of Hermon, which falls on the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord has commanded the blessing, life forevermore." And one of the first things I see in this chapter is that it is very good and it is very pleasant for God's people to live in unity. However, I think we all know it is very difficult for God's people to live in unity. It's very difficult for humans in general to be unified about anything. We all have opinions, we all have ideas, and truth be known, we're all selfish creatures and we want our way most often. So, doing this and living in unity is very much something unique to God's people. So how do we do that? Well, if we look at other scriptures for some inspiration, we look at John 17:22-23. It says, "I have given them the glory you gave me, so that they may be one, as we are one, I and them and you and me, that they may be perfectly united, so that the world may know that you sent me and have loved them just as you have loved me." And this is Christ's prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane before his crucifixion. And the one thing before his death that he was praying for is unity among his people. And so if you think of the critical nature and the critical importance of being unified in the church, I think this stands very much on its own as one place you can look for that unification. So how do you get unified? And how do you live unified in the church? If you go backwards a couple of chapters to John 15 and 17, it says, "This is my command to you," Jesus talking to his disciples, "love one another." It's all about love. If God is love and he lives inside of us, then we should love one another. And that is to remove ourselves from a selfish fashion or a selfish mindset, put on the mind of Christ, and live for one another in a loving fashion. We see that if you look in Acts chapter 2, we see that when the Holy Spirit comes down on the early church, they were all in one mind and one accord, and they were dwelling together, and they absolutely turned the world upside down with what it looked like to live in unison. Those that had money sold possessions to give to those that didn't. Those that were hungry were fed. There were no needs in the church, and they were about their Father's business. And it goes to show that a church that is united around a common mission, with selflessness abound and love for one another, we can continue to do that even to this day.